This is a one-speaker meeting. Please welcome tonight's speaker, Carrie.
Now put on my speaker hat. Okay. Hi. Listen, I am really thrilled to be here tonight. I love this meeting, and thank you for asking me, Sean. And I am, like, still in awe of the fact that I am still here clean and sober. You know, I mean, nobody is more amazed to me than me, you know, that I am still here clean and sober. I mean, I was just a hope-to-die alcoholic, junkie. I got here drooling on myself at the Venice Methadone Clinic, walking around the house with a propane torch about this size. And if it melted, I smoked it. I mean, my idea of a good evening was a 6-day run. I didn't think I had a good time or the dope was any good unless I looked in the morning and saw dried blood and bone between my two fingers from nodding out with a cigarette. I'm not kidding. I scared dealers. It's like, whatever. I'm like, what's up? I jumped into this jumpsuit. I couldn't seem to jump out of for about 6 years. And from falling out and nodding out with those cigarettes, I always see myself with, I had like, what teeth were left in my head, let's put it that way. It looked like they were made out of wood. I had about 6 greasy hairs, and I looked like an aerial view of Vietnam. You know, I was just like, I mean, I'm sure I was voted the least possible to succeed, and I don't need any more evidence than myself and my sobriety that there is a power greater than myself working, that I owe my life to Alcoholics Anonymous, and how fortunate I am, and I believe we all are, to be born in the age, in the time of Alcoholic Anonymous existence, you know, because if I was a flapper in the 30s, you know, I wouldn't be flapping too long. I'd be like, you know, face down in the gutter, dead. I have a disease. I'm clear about that. I didn't know it was a disease or, you know, alcoholism or any of those terms. I never even heard the word sober. There were drunk checks on the road. I mean, I never said any of these words in here, rarely, you know. I'd say steak rare, you know, but I mean, rarely. I don't know, that just wasn't, did you sought the dealer? Are you willing to buy a gram? You know, I mean, it's like, you know, and when I got here after 6 hospitals and waiting for a ride to my recovery house, because I had 20 minutes, you know, I just never thought that I was gonna make it. So I'm a greedy junkie and a hope-to-die alcoholic, like I say, and I'm still like, nobody's taken my pink cloud away from me. When somebody says, oh, the pink cloud's gone, I'm like, well, mine isn't. You know, I'm not, why would my pink cloud be gone? I'm still sober. That's what I came in here for. I didn't come in here for the job or the this or the that. Doesn't mean I haven't been depressed or sad or pounding the carpet, but at least not looking for a rock. And but, you know, praying for mercy in my sobriety. I have had a broken heart 1,000,000 times, and I've had deaths and tragedies and you know, and a lot of problems. And Alcoholics Anonymous has never disappointed me or let me down or never been not big enough for me or never not been a solution for me. You know, there's somebody in these rooms that has always been or known somebody who I need to know to get me through the next thing or whatever I'm going through. You know, it's just limitless. And it's global. Hello, New Zealand. Hello, Bali. I'm sure you're a surfer. I have a friend that goes there all the time. He's in the program. He's like, I got to send one of your tapes over there. You got to come to Bali. I'm like, oh, okay. But I'd be in the disco, the one that got blown up. I know that. Anyway, I traveled a lot before I got sober, and I don't remember anything except the few snapshots people show me. You know, I mean, I went to London, Paris, and India, and all I remember is the beer and the breadsticks in India and the hash in London. And the people say, did you go to the Louvre, like with Paris? And I'm like, the Louvre? I went to Maxime's. I went to Regine's, you know. What is the Louvre? I don't know. Is that a club? I never even life escaped me, but no drugs or alcohol ever did. You know what I mean? So we'll back up here a little bit. How late do I speak? Because I could keep you all going till midnight. Even if you left, I could still keep you going. I never wanted the party to end. The worst song I ever heard was Donna Summer singing The Last Dance. I'm like, no, not The Last Dance. Where are you going after this? What are you doing? Don't leave. It was always like, oh, God. Anyway, what time? 5 till, okay. So I believe I was born an alcoholic. I believe that I am cellularly different from my fellows. I still find sippers annoying. And you're going to finish that drink or what? It's like... and I don't find slippers annoying in this program, and that is clearly expressed to us in the written page of our big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, where it says they are not at fault. This is not a judgment center here. This is not a shame illness. Nobody goes around whispering, arthritis runs in my family. Why, that the stigma of alcoholism, has been, I don't know, because I can't not make my drink do what it does to me. And I don't know how somebody says, ooh, I'm starting to get a little tipsy. I'm like, what? That's my favorite part. I never had a problem with step 1. I loved being powerless. Oh, am I unmanageable? Well, too bad. You know what I mean? Like, that's your problem, I knew step 1, I just didn't want to recover. That was my problem. Drug problem? Yeah, when I'm out, it's like, that was it. But so, my mother was an alcoholic. I'm Irish and Indian. A little fire water goes a long way. And my father was an alcoholic, so I believe I was conceived in a vat of alcohol, my mother's womb, and the seed was loaded, Dad. And I came out saying, where's my drink, goddammit? It was like, my father left when I was about 2, I guess. I really remember being a toddler, going to that coffee table that never had coffee on it, and sipping those drinks from the night before with the parents are all passed out. Not parents, that was not even a word in my language either. My mother was passed out with her boyfriends. And at 5, I started mixing drinks for my mother and her boyfriends. I was like the little adolescent bartender, and it wasn't all that complicated. It wasn't like breaking into a computer and getting to Dr. Zeus on the, file. It was like bourbon and 7-Up. It was warm. It was sweet. My mother was an artist. She worked at home, inker painter, and I'd see that amber glass. I'd be on the floor. I'd see her through that. It was my connection to my mother. And at 5, after mixing enough drinks for would you get a little drinky poo for Johnny and I started mixing one for myself. And I started sipping drinks, and then I started mixing drinks, and then I started having a drink almost daily. Almost daily. I was born on a street called Burton Way. One of those boyfriends married my mother. And at 6 or 7, I guess, he picked us up and moved us to a little town called Pacoima. Well, all I knew is that, how do they get their hair so high? All those, and I liked that Pachuco hop, looked like fun. And then I thought, well, I better learn Spanish. And I was off and running. That guy ended up being a child-abusing stepfather. That's not why I'm an alcoholic. I clearly absolutely know. And I started hanging out in gangs across the tracks in Pacoima because it was safer to be with gangs and be a little mascot and be all cute than it was for me to go home and get beaten or molested by this guy. And so then I started hanging out. I'm like 8 or 9, and I'm hanging out with. Must have been somebody that died in Pacoima just came up. Everybody's dead in my book. so my best friend, I guess that was for Beverly there. My best friend in grammar school was a girl named Beverly Foster, God bless her, and she lived across the street from the school. We used to ditch school, and we were like 9, and we had boyfriends already, 12, 13, 14, 15. I don't know, they were just like around, and I had my mother's bourbon at home, and I always had a cough. I'll have some of that cherry coating. And we had boyfriends that would go get the beer. And then we started learning how to smoke, French inhale. Love it. They said, doesn't that get you dizzy? I go, yeah, it's my favorite part. Again, it was always just about getting a buzz, Now, I don't know, like, the emotional makeup. I just knew to anesthetize. I mean, I was a drink waiting to happen. It wasn't because I had such a bad childhood or this was bad and that was bad. It was really, sun up, I'm drinking, raining, it didn't matter. Oh, I'm happy, oh, I have a drink. Oh, I'm sad, oh, I have a drink. I mean, and I'm glad I was such an alcoholic, because I know that, like, my sobriety was not, my using and my drinking was not conditional. Having the dealer wasn't home, well, that does it, I'm getting sober. I called somebody else. You know what I mean? And so it's not like the minute I have a bad day in sobriety, I go, oh, that sucks, I'm getting high. I mean, I had enough information, as we all do. I believe there's not a person in this room that's here because they had a bad weekend and broke a fingernail. You know what I mean? Hello, show of hands, rough weekend. No, we defeat science, basically. We're just all like beyond anybody's comprehension. I love when a normal person will say, well, what happened? I'm like, about 5,000 things. Like some big thing, And then I always think that it's the funniest joke of Bill Wilson that we should be the ones up here telling what it was like we were there. Like we were, oh, well, let me just tell you all about it, you know what I mean? This is what I think happened, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm writing this book, I'm a hairdresser, which is another funny story. So this child abusing, molesting stepfather used to beat me with a hairbrush, and then I become a hairdresser, so I always want to say, thanks for the tool, Johnny. Living well is the best revenge. Anyway, it was an accident, sort of, I don't know. So I'm in Pacoima with my friend Beverly and in gangs called the Renegades. I used to hear this, they talk about this guy, Danny T, a lot in Pacoima where I was. And I remember coming to a meeting and saying, tonight our speaker is Danny T from Pacoima. I was like, what? Anyway, I never met him till I got to AA. All the time I was in Pacoima, he was just a name floating around. Anyway, so Pacoima, the gangs. Oh yeah, okay. So we'd have these parties, just crazy beer bus parties, everything. I don't know what other people were doing. I was just basically just French inhaling and drinking as much beer as possible, and I just never not wanted to not drink. And one night the party was busted, and everybody jumped over fences and went everywhere, and me, I was still passed out on the bed somewhere. And the cops came in and they said, I think they said probably, how old are you? Because I didn't give the right answer. I said, I'm fine, how are you? That's not what he said, you're coming with us, you know what I mean? So the fact is, I was arrested for being drunk at 9 years old. And I got the message of my disease loud and clear that night. You better be careful. They could take this away from you. So I protected and served my using up until 23 years ago, and that was just what it was. I became a very clever, functioning, I was not going to lose my right to drink and use. And I believe that's what happens, why it's so difficult, why it took me 6 hospitals, and why it was so difficult to let go and to come to the other side. I love when I heard somebody say that surrender just means coming to the winning side. It doesn't mean loser, we have step 2. It doesn't say come to believe and get restored to smarts. It says sanity, which, you know, lets me know I'm not stupid, I'm just crazy. You gotta be smart to stay out as long as we do, you know, and not die, you know? It's just it, you know, that's a fact. So I cleverly moved along my life. My mother, you know, found out about that guy, and that marriage was dissolved, and in alcoholic fashion, she went, you know, through every bar and every man in pretty much Pacoima and San Fernando Valley, I guess, how we do. And then I kind of went to a foster home for a little while, and then she came back and picked me up and said we were moving back to Hollywood again. I didn't want to go with her, but I did. And all my friends were like pregnant and getting married and in that order. And at 14, 15 years old, I found out about 10 years ago that my best friend Beverley, at 23 years old, 23 years sober I am now. At 23 years old, that she had become a heroin addict. She had 2 little girls at 23 years old, and she became a hooker in order to support her habit and her kids. And at 23, she just couldn't do it one more day, and she picked up a gun and blew her brains out. You know, it's just the saddest thing in the world. I think 23, just, you know. They say in AA, don't kill yourself in the first 5 years because you'll be killing the wrong person. You know, it's just, I have another friend that says she's peeled so many layers off the onion. You know, they say, peeling the layers off the onion. She says, I peeled so many layers off the onion, I don't even recognize the vegetable anymore. She's like, I mean, I think that our souls are whole and bright and beautiful all the time. And that thread is what somehow got us here to Alcoholics Anonymous, to making that step into this sacred ground where we're so fortunate to be able to come, to get the tools to find a book that tells us how to recognize a disease that we have and how to protect ourselves from it, you know? I never went to college, but I feel like AA is my school for a lifetime, you know? I never outgrow it. It's never, like I say, it's never let me down, and it's never been too small for me. The steps get deeper, trust me. Anyway, so we moved to Hollywood, and somebody asked me to model for them in beauty school, and that's when I saw my other peeps. And I went, oh, turquoise pink hair. I went, woo, this looks like fun. And I had always been an art and drama major. Who isn't? Show of hands. Anyway, So I became a hairdresser, and when I was in beauty school, I mean, when I think about my life, really, I think about Pacoima, I think of Pacoima, slow gin, Southern Comfort, pass the pot when you're done, but don't ask me to pick the seeds out. And, you know, I mean, it's like beer, breadsticks, and you know, whatever. My mother's bourbon and the codeine cough syrup. Then I went to Hollywood High, and it was the Dreen sisters, Dexedrine, Benzedrine. You know, it was like, you know, it was vodka gimlets and fox sweaters. You know, it was all, it was a whole nother world, but it was still, you know, it looked like I was going to school, but all I was doing was like seeing how high I could get again, and keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. You know, this insatiable progressive disease that I didn't know was, I just thought was like, I was growing up and getting bigger and better, and I could drink more and take more, and, you know, by the time I got to Alcoholics Anonymous, I was walking around, I'd hold my nose, so the blood wouldn't come out, but not about the blood, so the cocaine wouldn't come out, so no cocaine would come out of my nose. I had invested, you know, everything into getting it in there. You're not coming out. You know what I mean? And then if I thought I was going to throw up from like, oh, you don't even want to know the periods and the things that I drank, you know what I mean? I go through Galliano on the rocks. Ah! You know, oh, you think that's bad? amaretto on the rocks. Oh, jeez, everything. But I'd drink nail polish remover if I was out, you know what I mean? It didn't matter. Anyway, I'd hold my mouth in so the vomit wouldn't come out, because I didn't want to lose the alcohol. I've been working hard getting this in here. It's not coming out, you know what I mean? So this program is so genius because it knows that I have an unwillingness to let go of that which I have invested in. So it suggests for me to invest in this program by getting a sponsor and developing a relationship with somebody to keep their eyes on me. It suggests that I get a commitment so more people keep their eyes on me. I love when it says we practice these principles in all our affairs. I went, oh, good, I guess we're going to have affairs. Sounds good already. What is a butt-trusted servant? I want to know. Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Our leaders are butt-trusted servants. I don't know still. 23 years later, I don't know. Whatever. And you can hear what you want to hear. I went to a CA meeting, and I was sure when they read A Vision for You, they said, our Coke is meant to be suggestive only. I was like, oh, God. And I came to this meeting with the Friendly House, and I remember sitting here, and it seems like, well, anyway, I don't know what to tell you first. All these people want to talk to you inside of me. Calm down, kids, calm down. Okay. Well, let me put it this way. I drank and used for as long as I could, and then I drank and used 10 years after that. Okay. Some of you will get that, and some of you will want to. Damn. I couldn't see when I got here. I was such a fragile shell of a human being. I mean, really, it's just, all I know is how generous the body is in this program is that puts us back together like Humpty Dumpty. Anyway, I couldn't read and I couldn't see. I mean, like looking out was like spin art, you know what I mean? And inside my brain was like a Jackson Pollock painting. I mean, I just couldn't, I was just tweaking and lifetime of, from angel dust to peyote. I mean, yeah, I was just like, oh, God. Anyway, I'm still waiting for that last booster to kick in. Oh, God. I was in a phone booth one time, dialing for dealers. That was my life. We didn't have cell phones, when I was going around. I mean, well, some people did. Hello? The rich people, you know what I mean? I always like to say there is this phone booth on Sunset to the Gateways of Heaven up Laurel Canyon. And every morning, we'd be there like, there'd be this line of trench coats and, just like, hurry up off the phone, I need the phone, We'd all be trying to call our dealer to get up to Laurel Canyon, do it somewhere in Laurel Canyon, somewhere in there. And I was so sick and jonesing, and honest to God, if I could taken my spine out of my back with my bare hands, I would have. It just was like a centipede crawling, and I was like I don't even know. Anyway, God. Oh, I don't ever want to do this again. I mean, I don't even want to be a newcomer, let alone use. Anyway, God, that was exhausting too. Good luck. One day at a time, thank God, Anyway, I was in this phone booth, and I looked down. I'm like so sick, and I'm shaking, and the dealer's not answering the phone. And I look down, and I see this like red thing down there, and I'm like, oh, look what God sent me. And of course, I bent down, I look at it, I'm like, okay. Oh, hell, it's got to feel better than whatever I'm taking, I mean, whatever condition I'm in. Now, whatever saliva I barely had in my mouth, I mean, I was like, got a lot today. So I'm sitting there waiting to see if I'm going to die or hopefully get high or numb or something to take the pain or, and how insane is that? You know, I just, all I have to do is think about, like, where that took me. How insane was that? I mean, nothing happened, obviously, but, you know, it could have been a suppository for dogs, you know, for worms or something. You know. My guess is it was a Tic Tac, damn it, you know. But anyway, they finally ripped that phone booth out. Nobody had cars. Nobody was getting gas. We already sold those. We were like, you know, hitchhiking. Anyway, so when I got to the friendly house, is what I want to say, is that I couldn't hear. I think after they tell us to not drink and to not use, which is the first most difficult task, the next one is to listen. What? I can't hear you. I see your lips are moving, but I can't, you know. My head was in a goldfish bowl, you know, this fish going, nee, 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 nee. And you were out there going, wah, 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 like peanuts, you know. I didn't know what the hell anybody was saying. So they told me in this recovery house, and I suggest this to anyone who hasn't done it. Because if you have, I know it's different for you now. And because I couldn't read and because I couldn't hear, they told me to copy the words off page 58 to 60, how it works. You see, you want to know how this works? It's written in black and white, and it doesn't change, and it hasn't changed, and that is the great security for us. And the other thing that's so incredible is that the first sentence says, rarely have we seen a person fail. That is a sentence of great hope and success. That means our success has been already done for us. You know, that's the generosity of this program. And if I don't read how it works today, because it's a one-day-at-a-time program, how does this day work? There it is, page 58 to 60. I just get my butt to a meeting and somebody generously reads it to me. You know, if I haven't dashed, you know, let's see, Vogue, big book. Let me look at the pictures. You know, anyway. So I wrote that down, and the words came off the page into my eyes, through my heart, out my hand, through this pen, and I saw how it works in my own hand. And that was the first moment of my courtship with Alcoholics Anonymous. That's when it became mine. I wish everybody would do it who hasn't done it. You know, it's an experience, and it's lovely. And then whenever you hear chapter 5, you know, certain things will ring out to you as they did with me. I guarantee it. For me, the thing that was like hallowing, that was the most incredible thing I saw and never heard in all the meetings I had been to prior was, do not, almost like an order, do not be discouraged. God, that meant so much to me. I had been so discouraged. I had felt so hopeless, you know, and so do not be discouraged. And then it said, we are not saints. I went, oh, good. Yeah, that's helpful, you know, because I'm not. You know what I mean? When I got here, I mean, I didn't wear underpants for 3 years before I got here. It was just too complicated, you know. I had to, like, pee or throw up or something all the time. You know what I mean? It was like, you know. Anyway, that's another program, I suppose. When I was new, they said, if you can't laugh at yourself, you're missing the best joke in AA. Anyway, oh, good, I got more time left, because I got more stories. Anyway, so that was the thing. It winds around like a little journey, like a wonderful little tour, you know, and it says that the success of rarely have we seen a person fail is having the capacity to be honest. And that's the thing that is so key for me. It's like, that's what let me know that that the truth had to be good enough for me, that I exaggerating was dangerous for my sobriety. I don't know about you, but I mean, you know, it forced me to be honest, not to be a good person, but that my sobriety was hinged on this. And then my sponsor told me, you know, there's a tremendous power in the word. If you put something out there, that word goes out of your mouth, your ears hear what you say. Even if you don't think when you're saying it, what you know, it's like, oh, you know, God, what an awful day. And then you, oh, what an awful day. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I heard it. You know? And so she was like, was the whole day awful, or was a few hours awful, or what are you talking about? You know, we have to get specific. And then it was, if this is a one day at a time program, and the point is, which is lovely, thank you, Alcoholics Anonymous, for point and purpose. You know, I never had such a quality point and purpose before in my life, except for my selfish self-centeredness and my self-indulgence and my greediness. Now I have a purpose to stay sober and, not period. It says our primary purpose is to stay sober and, not period, help the other alcoholic that suffers. And for me, that is the spirit of Alcoholics Anonymous. When I got here, I had 3 days of sobriety. The person that like picked me up by the nape of my neck and like started dragging me to meetings. On the third day, my first meeting was Rodeo. My second meeting was Saturday night, Ohio. Somebody was up there talking about taking heroin and going to the beach and watching the fish, you know, swim by. And I thought, oh, I like this place. Sounds fun, guys. Sounds like some fun people in here. And the third day was Cedars and my friend Aloma, who 12-stepped me for 12 years, she said, go talk to him, he's new. I said, Aloma, I have 3 days. She said, yeah, well, he's got 3 minutes. Go talk to him. Hey, keep coming back, it works. I don't know what they're talking about here, really, quite frankly. And I don't know what happened to that guy. His name was Richard, you know what I mean? And and I don't know what happened to him, but I know I stayed sober, and I know that I got that thing. And I want to say that my last husband, who died of this disease, you know, his name was Richard. And my mother, whose drinks I used to mix at 54 years old, she died in County General Hospital because when she was going to that meeting, she was like, "That's nice. That's nice for those people that have a place to go." You know, this is an equal opportunity disease. You know, that's the real deal here. I've had beauty salons in Beverly Hills all my life. I've done everybody's hair I ever wanted to meet in my life, let alone, you know, have them pay me money to say hello to them. And I know a lot of really talented, extremely good-looking, rich, you wouldn't believe how rich they are, dead alcoholics. What's your bottom? 6 feet under is mine. That's my ultimate bottom. You know what I mean? So we know if we're alcoholics or not. I don't know. Some people say they don't. I don't know. I give it to whatever, you know. I'm like, well, what were you doing all day? Like, you know, oh, I'm an alcoholic. I'm like so surprised. Why? You had 5 DUIs. You know, you were never without a drink. I don't know. But okay, that's your. They said. Well, I never drank before 5. Oh, well, sorry for you. You lost the whole day. Oh, God. You know, and the thing is, I've had my greedy share. You know, for me, I put my kids, by the way, I have 5 children out of my body, you know, and I saw my mother die in County General Hospital, and I thought, I didn't want my kids to see me die that death, but I didn't know how it was going to be possible. How was I going to not drink? And I thought it was so much better than her because I was bulletproof with cocaine, and I was like, poor little pathetic alcoholic, you know, like, making me ill, just, ooh, you know. You know, because I got fancy Gucci shoes on, you know, and I'm still holding it up. I'm just an awake drunk, you know what I mean? And anyway, until I saw a movie that was created by one of our members, the beloved Cubby, that did a film called Requiem of a Dream. And Ellen Burstyn came down on that gurney, gritting her teeth. Did I not remember that I pulled my mother out of a nursing home at 54 years old because they said, your mother hasn't eaten for 4 days. We'll make her eat. Well, we can't. She keeps gritting her teeth. And that's when I took her to, I was like drunken on angel dust, and I took my mother to County General Hospital, you know. Here, do something with her, fix her, you know. It wasn't until I saw that movie that my mother became a human being. I certainly forgave her for being an alcoholic, as I wanted my children to forgive me for being an alcoholic. But I never felt her until I saw that movie. I never really, really forgave her in the core of my heart. You know. Anyway, Alcoholics Anonymous is basically about you never know the point of the exercise. If you're not carrying the drink or the drug, you're carrying the message. You know, and we're all very, very important here. Each and every one of us have a different voice to talk to a different person. You might be the only person that somebody else can hear, and they won't be able to hear me at all. Say, oh, that big laughing loud person. Oh yeah, can't stand her. She's so goddamn happy. You know, I don't care. That's who I am. You know what I mean? When I had about 10 years of sobriety, somebody gave me a book. You know, it says we realize we know only a little, and that our 11th step is about expanding our spiritual path. And I never put any book in front of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, I've studied a lot of spiritual things before I got here. And I studied a lot after I got here, from the Course in Miracles and blah, 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 you know, whatever, Science of Mind, agape, this, that. I've been everywhere and, you know, done it all. I've been bar mitzvahed and I've been baptized. I've been, do everything. I was never Catholic. It took too long. Just took too long to get that wafer and that wine, you know what I mean? I went home and I used to like stomp on Weber's bread and wax paper and then make little holy hosts myself and play like, when I was in Pacoima, you know, I'd play like church, you know. And drink the wine. But if those things treated our alcoholism, we wouldn't have Rabbi Campbell here. We wouldn't have Father Terry in our program, and we wouldn't have Father Leo in our program. And those are all beautiful spiritual things, and everybody is everything. And this is like a non-denomination program that really saves our life. And we all do have spirits. And today, I don't have to go out and buy them. Wines and spirits, you know? It's what it says on those liquor stores. Because mine wasn't good enough. I think that's the glitch of alcoholism. Thanks, God, but this makes me better. Like, I'm just not good enough. And that's the big lie. Of course we're good enough. We're whole in our, and we're in a program that propels us and forces us to walk a path of spiritual lines. And how often? One day at a time. It's a one day at a time program. And if the point of this program is that I'm willing to grow along spiritual lines, then I must have to do some kind of spiritual growth one day at a time in order to stay sober. Sometimes it's just going to a meeting. Sometimes it's not honking at somebody that's taken too long to make a right-hand turn when I'm in a hurry to get Botox, you know, or something. I'm way out, so I got a lot of bangs now. Random acts of kindness. Give a smile to someone who doesn't have one. When you reach out to someone and you're a greeter in a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, you might be the first hand reaching out to someone and be that impression. If you got a bumper sticker on your car that says easy does it one day at a time, friend of Bill's, watch your driving. I don't have stickers on my car. I mess up sometimes. I don't want to give AA a bad name. Oh, God. It's been the most glorious trip. I have a son who has been in and out of this program, but at least he knows that the chain has been broken, that there is a way and a solution. I have a daughter that 7 years ago came through Alcoholics Anonymous and came through the Friendly House because they did such a good job with me, who has 7 years of successful sobriety. I am forever grateful. I don't know why some of us get it and some of us don't. It's not my business. But what is my business is to be here, stay sober, help the other alcoholic who still suffers, trust God, clean house, and keep coming back. Thank you.